Hey guys, welcome to the arcade and thank you very much for joining me. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Evercade EXP, specifically the limited edition one. However, most of the features in this review will be applicable to the white normal one as well. So let's dive in and take a look at it. The Evercade itself comes in a nice little case. Now this was one of the perks of the limited edition, and it does come in a black matte finish, whereas the normal would come as white. The weight of the device is quite sturdy feeling. I think it's quality made. I do like the finish to it. I do like the buttons. The cartridges are a big plus for me. I do think that this is going to be something that I'll end up collecting. Now it does look a little bit weird because all the cartridges are white and the Evercade, the XP limited edition is, black. I do like the idea that the cartridges can hot swap, and that's probably not a new thing, but I still really like it the way I can just pull out a cartridge from the back, plug in the new one, and it automatically loads into the games. The screen on it is bright and vibrant, and I had no problems actually playing outside with it. I thought it was quite a nice experience. The buttons I find very responsive. Now I did say in my unboxing video that I thought that the D-pad was a little squishy, and that might have come into play when I was playing games, but I can honestly say I haven't noticed that. If it is squishy, I'm not paying attention to it. It's behaving well. The controls are working very, very well. The interface I really like. So we've got three simple options. The first one here we can see is the games menu. So this is the Commodore 64 Collection 2. What I can do is I can go over to the side here. I can jump down to the EXP option. This is the built-in option. So we've got the Capcom Collections, which come as part of the EXP, and our Game of the Month Club. So that will come in every sort of month with a new indie game. The hidden games here is an option that you would have got with the VS, being able to unlock different games from different cartridges. The settings are, there's a load of different settings to suit everyone's needs. Scan lines, bezels, aspect ratio, whatever you like to play with, you'll be able to find a combination that will suit you, and I think that's really good. Give people the options. It may look like there's a lot of different options there, but really once you've got it, there's no reason to mess around with it again. You'll have it all set. System allows you just to jump in, check for firmware updates. As you can see, we're all up to date there, but it's really easy to get it. This I thought was a really nice touch done by Evercade. So when the first ones were stolen, they sent us out a little email to fill in our names, and we would become the EXP heroes. So you can see the list of names as we're going down here. These are all the people that had pre-ordered the original Evercade EXP, and these were the ones that got stolen. Now if we just look to the column on the right hand side, you can see there we are, Command-HQ Arcade. So that was a nice little touch, and we are there for all eternity, I guess. Here's a little bit of footage from the gameplay from the Commodore 64. I thought it played really well. So this is Pit Stop 2, which I really enjoyed when I was younger. Now, obviously, the two-player split screen will always be there, even though this is whatever handheld game it is, still one player. I thought the sound quality was fantastic. It played really well, just like I remember. One of the features I really do like, especially with these older, longer games, especially with Dizzy, is the ability to load and save. This means if you can't work out a puzzle or you do something stupid like this, you can just reload your save game and you'll be back to where you were. For Dizzy, this was fantastic because I was getting stuck at puzzles, I was getting frustrated, and then I would come back to it in an hour and I would work out the puzzle and move on from there. Looking into the Capcom Collection, so these are the games that come built in. Now there is a collection of arcade classics as well as a few from the home console generation as well. So there is a lot to choose from. You've got Mega Man, you've got Strider, you've got Ghosts and Goblins, or sorry, Ghouls and Ghosts I should say, which is absolutely fantastic. And I made sure that this was the first game that I tried when I got the handheld. simply to make sure it was running the correct ROM and it wasn't the nerfed easy difficulty that we got with the Capcom Arcade Collection on the home consoles. And I can confirm this is the real deal. This is the hardcore Ghouls and Ghosts. One save point per level, if that. And it's just so much fun to sit down and play this anywhere I want to go. I think it's a fantastic idea that they've built these games into the console because it gives you a bit more bang for your buck. Now, I understand that some people are a little bit upset that they can't, the ones of the older generation or the VS, they'll not be able to get their hands on this because it is simply built into the EXP. There doesn't appear to be a way of getting this on one of the other ones as yet because Capcom won't allow it to be a physical copy, which is perfectly fine, but then it does mean that the other people are going to be left out. We'll see. They have hinted at another way of getting the Capcom Collection on the other devices in the future, but how that's going to come about, we'll have to just wait and see. Jumping down here, we can go into one of the other games. So let's have a look at something that was on one of the home consoles. So here is Mega Man 2 that would have debuted on the NES. The emulation here works really well. I'm very happy with it. Controls are responsive and the music, I think, is just brilliant. I know people have said that they found something a bit off with the music. Maybe it's just because I'm not as familiar with the soundtrack or anything like that, but it definitely sounds pretty good to me. Maybe I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but I was very happy with the sound quality from both the sound effects and the... I love that. Yes, with both the sound effects and the music that the Evercade is producing, and this goes across any of the games that I've played. I've had no complaints. So we've mentioned a lot of positives about the Evercade so far. Are there any negatives? Well, yes, and this is the big one for me. So where you see my finger there is the power button, and you can see that it sticks up above the rest of the console. The problem I have is that when it was in its case, or if you're just leaving it lying around, it has the ability to get depressed. Because it's not recessed into the handheld itself, it can be pushed inadvertently and it'll switch the Evercade on. The problem is the Evercade doesn't have an auto power off, so the device will just stay powered on until it runs out of batteries. Now this is a big design flaw and it's happened a few times to me, so it's not just me being careless with it. It's done it well when I've been traveling while it's in its case, and then when I've come to play it, the power is gone from the battery and there's nothing I can do. I can't play it unless I charge. Volume control I also find an issue because there's no UI to tell me what volume I'm at. I'm relying just on the sound itself. I think that could be fixed with a bit of a firmware. It just makes it a little bit easier to figure out because some of the games can be louder than others. A quick on-screen volume slider would be really beneficial here. Going back to gameplay, let's discuss how much playtime we're actually getting from the charge of the battery. Now, what I was getting was between 4.5 to 5 hours estimated on the various games I was playing. I wasn't always playing the same game, I was swapping between cartridges and games on the internal memory as well, the Capcom ones. Now, in order to get that time, I have to charge it for about 4 hours as well, so it is sort of a 1-to-1 ratio when it comes to charge versus playtime. It's not the worst in the world, but I would have liked the charge time to be a little less. I know we have quick charging ability nowadays, it's just not utilized here, or for whatever reason they decided against it. It's not a bad time scale. 4 to 5 hours is pretty decent on a single charge, but when it runs out, it does mean quite a long charge time before you can play it again. To touch on the Game of the Month Club, this is a really nice little feature that's been given to us. Now, it has been part of the VS for a little while, and what it is a preview of some of the games that are going to be coming on the Indie Collection Volume 3. So far we've had Donut Dodo, which was a fantastic game. They came out of the gate really strong with this one. And then we moved on to the next month, which was Thunderpaw, which in my opinion wasn't great, and I'll get into that in another video. But I suppose for now we can see the benefits of the Game of the Month Club, and I really hope to see some more strong games coming out, very similar to Donut Dodo. That would be really good to see going forward again. One thing that I wasn't really able to get across in the capture footage that I had recorded is the Tate Mode. Now, this is the ability to go from a horizontal orientation to a vertical. So some games, such as vertical shooters, this would be very beneficial. The reason being is because if you're playing them on a horizontal screen, what it'll do is it'll squish the gameplay area down so the aspect ratio is correct. Now, if we were to go into a vertical mode, then it doesn't have to do that. You get a bigger playfield. Now, in order to do that, there's a little button on the bottom here, so you actually have to physically hit it, which is a nice idea rather than just relying on gyros. So push the button, it'll go into Tate Mode, and then you control with these buttons and D-pad, sort of flicks its orientation really. So these are the buttons that you would be using when it's in Tate Mode. And it's a really good idea, and I really wanted to like this. I thought it was fantastic when they announced it, because I have really gotten into vertical shooters in the last couple of years. My big problem with it, and this heralds back to what I said at the very start of the video, that the build quality of the EXP is really good, and you can feel it in the weight. So, when you're playing, you're sitting like this, the buttons are right at the bottom, so you have to brace the device right at the very bottom of, you know, the real estate that you have. So as you start to play, now all I am doing is hitting a couple of buttons and I'm pushing the direction sort of left and right, and you can see on the very tip of the Evercade that it's sort of shaking. The more that I hit the buttons, or if I'm trying to mash a shoot, it's going to shake, and I can start to feel that weight. So after about 10-15 minutes, your wrist starts to get tired because you're bracing the weight of this. You can't go any higher to take the weight distribution in, because you've got to use the controls down at the very bottom. It's different when it's in its horizontal, because you're perfectly balanced here. Here, you're not. You're right at the bottom, and what you're doing is just gradually over time tiring out your wrists. So the longevity, or the ability to play in Tate Mode for a long period of time, just isn't there, at least not in my opinion. And that really sucks, because like I said, I really wanted to like Tate Mode. It's a really good thought out design feature, but the weight of the device just means that you're not going to be able to use it as long as you probably want, and that is disappointing. In summary, I think that the EXP is a great little handheld. I think that the positives more than outweigh the negatives. That big one with the power button, that's the one that annoys me the most, and it does keep happening, but there is no way of getting around that, not now. Unfortunately, that's just going to be something I'm going to have to live with and take more care with, to ensure that I'm not activating it when I shouldn't. The games that you can get on this, like I said, there are so many. I've already bought 3 or 4 additional cartridges on top of the ones that I got with the collector's edition, so I have more than enough games. There are loads more coming out. I think the Team 17 Atari one is coming out very soon. The Commodore 64 Collection 2 had only come out maybe a couple of weeks. There is more coming with this Evercade showcase in a couple of weeks, so we're just getting more and more. They have a great roadmap. They have a great roadmap in regards to what they want to release. I'm very happy with this. I do like taking it with me. I like being able to you know, sit outside and, you know, have a quick game. It's very simple to bring with me. It's not as big and heavy as a Switch. Now, granted, it can't do any of the big high-end graphical games, but that's not what I bought it for. I wanted a retro handheld experience, and if you're looking for that, then yes, this is a brilliant little device, and it's definitely worth your money. Now, there are other ones that you can pick up, ones that you would have to sort of install, maybe something like RetroPie or something like that, deal with ROMs, all the rest of it. This is all above the board. You've got the perfect the licensed games in the cartridges. You don't have to worry about anything like that. The emulation is solid. I'm really pleased with it, and I really do like playing it. It's just it's a very comfortable feel. I just enjoy it quite a lot. I think it's as a retro gaming experience, I do think it's probably one of the best ones out there. You can probably look at other ones like the Asus Rock that's sort of coming out as well, but you're talking $700 for something like that. Translate that over here, probably 650 quid. Whereas this, I picked it up, this was the collector's edition for £180, and I believe the normal one at the moment is 150, 140. I'll have to, don't quote me on that one because it's always sort of in flux, but I think it's definitely well worth it. The cartridges you can pick up for, they usually retail for about 17 quid, but you can get them for about 14 if you get them in a sale, or a game every now and then has, you know, buy one get buy two for the price of. So you can pick up a load of different things for it. I'm very pleased with what I've got, and I think it's definitely worth checking out. Now, you'll not be able to get the limited edition one, as it's its name. It was limited, it's gone, but you will still be able to get the regular white one, and I do recommend at least checking it out. Hopefully in this video you'll have seen some things that will have helped you make a decision, either yes or no. That's why I put this information. But please let me know in the comments what you think. Are you going to be picking one up? Have you already got one? And what's your experience of it? Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again very soon. Take care out there. Bye bye now.